By the way, which are the muscles involved during the load response from the heel side?
Tibet.
Huh?
Tibet.
Tibet, okay, then. Come on, guys, don't be shy. Okay, tibialis anterioris in front. What's going on the rear side? Do I'm using gastrocnemius, soleus, why not? Huh? Then, coming up. Okay, of course at the beginning we have extensor, okay, digitorum extensor and allochis extensor, good. And at the end, flexor. Then, up here, what do we have? The quads,
The hamstrings.
hamstrings, semimembranosus, semitendinosus, then the glutes. So, by understanding functions, flexion, okay, dorsiflexion, knee flexion, pelvis, and understanding which are the muscles involved, I can say, okay, I have a strong asymmetry on the plantar, on the load response. What does it mean? Do I have a functional limitation on the chain? Yes, no. No functional limitation, or I have, internal rotation. That's very strong internal rotation. What's going on? Usually when I load and I have a very strong internal rotation, all the chain, okay, the rotational components are affected. So we need to start thinking in this way. The gait analysis data are just an indicator, okay? And something is telling us a story of what's behind, okay? We need to say, we start with asymmetries. Asymmetries are the concepts that are quite easy to understand, okay? Differential between left to right, easily. So asymmetries are giving us an idea, say, okay, what's going on when I touch the ground with the right, respect to what's going on when I touch on the left. Which are the functions on the cinematic chain I need to perform. Of course, when I do a load response, just to give an example, I don't need 60 degrees flexion of the knee. I don't care. But I need something like 10, 15 degrees. When I do a plantar flexion, okay, I need 4 or 5 degrees dorsiflexion. Okay, I need 4 or 5 degrees plantar flexion, so nothing terrible. So I have to understand that if I have a functional restriction in terms of flexion of the knee, okay, that is at 30 degree, I won't see that on the load response. I don't get it. Probably I will see on the swing phase, because for swinging I need to recover my leg, my knee, okay, flex it and re-extend. So that's the way we have to do, in my opinion, to understand the gait analysis. Forget about the numbers. Okay, for an instant, the numbers are telling a story. Since I'm very lazy, okay, all of what I'm saying is on the books. This is literature. But I'm very lazy. So, and it's what I did is, why, if I click on the load response here, I have, first of all, the muscles involved in the load response. Because, and when they are involved. Here, for example, at calf level, for example, the gastrocnemius and the soleus are active only in the last part of the load response. At the beginning, we have the extensor of the hallucis and the digitorum longus, tibialis anterior, of course, all the time. But look at here. We have all the gluteus, all the glutes are active in the load response, okay, because they are supporting. So if we have anybody with big glutes problem, here I see immediately, okay? Same stuff here. At the beginning, we have the abductor magnus, the biceps femoris, and the gracilis. Then all the others are always active. semimembranosus, semitendinosus, vastus intermedius, lateralis, all of that, boom, I have to absorb, okay? I have to absorb, okay, the weight load response. They are responding, essentially. If not, the load response will have asymmetry. Big problems, okay, at pelvis level, okay, most importantly, the gluteus in this part. But if I have a functional restriction, okay, because I cannot drop, because I have any problem, I can see here. Oh, by the way, the functions, okay? So, in the load response, I need at least a plantar flexion. Dorsiflexion is, okay, we need it a little bit, but it's not so important. It's more important to have plantar flexion, okay, during the load response, because the foot is already in a, let's say, neutral position. Then when I start loading, okay, I need to have the plantar flexion. And if you don't remember, okay, what the plantar flexion is, oops, you can always to see which are the muscles involved in the plantar flexion, okay? Of course I'm kidding, but the idea is not all the muscles of the plantar flexion are involved during the load response. What I mean is, these are all, okay, the muscles of the load response at ankle level. The most active are the tibialis posteriors, okay, the soleus, and a little bit the gastrocnemius, okay, in this phase. Knee level, okay, same stuff, flexion, at least 10 degrees. With a very big role of semimembranosus, semitendinosus, bis femoris, and here the same stuff for pelvis and subtalar. Of course, we can subdivide the initial contact and load response, initial contact and load response, and so on. So the idea is, once more, we started from a very simple gait analysis. Now we try to understand what's going on in terms of function and muscles, in terms of functional restriction. This is our job. Sorry, that's your job. Okay. Now, the idea is, now I understand a little bit more which could be a potential issue. Of course, I have to correlate this potential issue to the reality of my patient. That's absolutely clear. But now I start thinking to an intervention. Okay, whatever the intervention is. That means it could be an orthotic, could be an exercise, could be physiotherapy, could be surgery. So now, the easiest part is, I start thinking, okay, I have to give more support of the arch, whatever, okay? That's your job. So I do my intervention, I let getting used a little bit, and I verify. So test, retest. By knowing that my little customer and patient has to adapt himself from a neuromuscular activation point of view, okay, to the new situation. But here there is another key. It's not true, generally speaking, that what we see in static is a good prediction of dynamic. Let's say it's a prerequisite. That means it's very important to have a static balance, good distribution of pressure, whatever, perfect, I love it. But it's not true that if this is good, the dynamic is good. No way, okay? If it's wrong, the dynamic will be wrong, okay? But if it's good, we need to verify what's going on in dynamic. So we start, of course, to build our, our strategy from static, because it's easiest to understand, of course, easy to analyze. But immediately after, we need to go in dynamic and verify what's going on. If we want something more, here we have a list of the potential deviations that are affecting the load response. Like if we have a delay heel contact, we can have a plantar flexion contractor or spasticity. And the functional significance is disrupt forward progression, disrupt heel rocker.
So this is always regarding the patient that you're analyzing.
No, this is
This is
the literature I
Okay.
have, okay? And instead of going to the books, I have
Okay.
two holy bibles of the gait analysis. One is Jacqueline Perry, Gait Analysis, an incredible book. And the other one is for muscle and functions by Kendall and Kendall. Okay, those are the foundation of the knowledge. What we've done is taking these two books and put in a database and make them available here. Easy.
Okay.
Is it true for this patient? I don't know. That means is if you have a problem on the load response and you think that we have to focus on ankle and foot, we have excess of dorsiflexion, excess of eversion, excess of inversion. These are the potential
Okay.
underlying causes of something that is affecting the load response.
I thought it was just regarding what was happening.
No, these would be too potential.
That would be good. That would be good to do it all the way.
No, I won't say that.
You need EMG.
I need an experience. Otherwise, I mean, I don't believe in automatic analysis and solutions. This is EMG, yes, it's a way to understand, okay, as well. I like to think our body and our muscles like an orchestra. So we have the target to have every single muscle up and running like a good instrument player. But if you're not making, if you're not playing together, you create noise. If you're playing together, you create music. Same stuff with muscles. When we're talking about muscles and activation and control strategy, it's like an orchestra. You can do noise or you can do music. The way you are activating in a proper way, and you can verify, of course, with the EMG, okay, is from the brain, and we call neuromuscular activation. The model, activation, actuation. Like an orchestra. If something is wrong, neurological problems. If something is wrong, you don't have the actuation because the muscle is not anymore there. Okay, no control in the actuation. Or the model is different from the reality. We have to work on it. All right? We have a little break. It's 11 o'clock. And then we will continue investigating.
Can I steal one of his pants? Or? Yeah. Oh, wow, that's fair enough. What sort
You have a warning. Or you can go to the website to download it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's real hell, wasn't it?
Yeah. How much of a program do you have?
Literally, I spent a morning downloading all the drivers and all the rest of it, the cameras, and physically putting it up. And and then playing with it, and then I got second teacher sort of walking it 5 minutes, and then played back the video, clicked on a few bits, and that was it. It didn't go too easily. And neither were there, because Emily showed me and told me, but it was so good. But, yeah.
There's a lot there, but I can't help wonder if is there a way of laying it out? There's a lot of sub-menus and sub-sub-menus and things.
You play with these.
It goes and some of it I didn't even realise that the button you could click on to open the menu, it just looks like it was a thing telling you this is what is encrypted, not this is the other menu below.
And then that will go into the.
No, you have another option.
Much more intuitive now, haven't they? As I say, we're lazy because we're used to this sort of thing.
Okay, so increase my shot, we need to get this thing.
Yes.
He was saying, because I looked at this and I said, I haven't got, he's got deviations on there, I haven't got it on there. And he said, yeah, he said that's because that's the basic version, which is something like
Oh, really? So, that explains the view.
but so even that updated version is
The stuff's there.